Belgium may be small in size, but its rich archaeological heritage tells a grand story of human civilization. From prehistoric flint mines to medieval cities and World War I battlefields, the country's soil has preserved extraordinary evidence of our shared past. This episode explores 30 remarkable archaeological discoveries that have reshaped our understanding of European history. Each finding, meticulously excavated and studied, reveals fascinating details about ancient technologies, cultural exchanges, and daily life across different eras. Whether it's the glittering treasures of Merovingian kings, perfectly preserved Roman ruins, or poignant reminders of more recent conflicts, these sites offer a tangible connection to the people who shaped Belgium's past. Join us on a journey through time as we uncover the secrets buried beneath Belgium's modern landscape. Belgium's most incredible archaeological discoveries that rewrote history. The Neolithic flint mines of Spens. The Neolithic flint mines of Spens represent one of the most extensive prehistoric mining complexes in Europe, dating back to approximately 4,300 before Christ, covering over 100 hectares near Mons. In Hainaut province, these underground mines demonstrate remarkable technological sophistication for their era. Neolithic miners dug vertical shafts up to 16 meters deep using only antler picks and stone hammers, following high-quality flint seams through the chalk bedrock. The extracted flint was transformed into tools and weapons that were traded across northwestern Europe, with Spens products found as far as the Netherlands and Germany. What makes these mines particularly extraordinary is their preservation. Of mining techniques, archaeologists have identified different extraction methods, including open-cast pits and elaborate underground galleries with support systems. The site also reveals evidence of specialized labor organization, with some shafts showing repeated use over generations. Recent excavations uncovered ritual deposits of human remains and carefully placed artifacts in abandoned shafts, suggesting spiritual significance to the mining activities. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2000, Spens continues to yield new discoveries through modern archaeological methods like 3D mapping and microscopic use-wear analysis on tools. The mines provide unparalleled insights into Neolithic engineering capabilities, trade networks, and social complexity at the dawn of European civilization. The Roman ruins of Tongiran. As Belgium's oldest city, Tongiran, Romang Achuatuka Tongorum, boasts some of the most impressive Roman remains in the Low Countries. Founded in 10 before Christ as a military base under Augustus, it grew into the thriving capital of the Civitas Tongorum district. The 2nd century Anodomini defensive walls, stretching 4.5 kilometers with 60 towers, represent one of the earliest large-scale stone fortifications in northern Gaul. Excavations have revealed extensive public buildings, including a monumental forum, complex thermal baths with hypocaust heating systems, and an amphitheater that could seat 10,000 spectators. The Gallow Roman Museum houses extraordinary finds like the 3rd century Anodomini Tongiran Christ mosaic, one of the earliest Christian symbols found in the region. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys have mapped an entire Roman neighborhood beneath the modern city, revealing insulae, apartment blocks, workshops, and even a possible Mithraeum temple. Particularly significant are the military artifacts that document Tongiran's role as a frontier garrison town, including complete cavalry helmets and the famous Tongiran shield, a curved scutum preserved in a well. The city's decline after 4th century Anodomini Germanic invasions is visible in archaeological layers, showing hasty repairs to defenses and the abandonment of public buildings. Tongiran's Roman remains provide crucial evidence about urbanization, cultural integration, and military organization at the northern edge of the Romang Empire. The medieval Gravenstein Castle in Ghent. The Gravenstein, Castle of the Counts, in Gent stands as one of Europe's most perfectly preserved medieval fortresses, with archaeological evidence tracing its origins to the 9th century Anno Domini. The current stone castle was built in 1180 Anno Domini by Philip of Alsace, Count of Flanders, inspired by Crusader castles he encountered in the Holy Land. Archaeological excavations within the castle walls have revealed multiple construction phases, from the original wooden motte and bailey structure to the imposing stone complex featuring a massive keep, curtain walls, and defensive towers. The castle's most fascinating archaeological finds include 12th century Anno Domini chainmail fragments, crossbow bolts, and a rare complete set of knightly spurs. In the dungeon, archaeologists discovered graffiti carved by prisoners dating back to the 14th century Anno Domini, including crude drawings of gallows and prayers for mercy. The castle's later use as a courthouse and prison left behind torture devices and execution tools, now displayed in the museum. Particularly significant was the discovery of the original castellan's account books from the 13th century Anno Domini, providing detailed records of castle operations and feudal justice. Restoration work in the 20th century uncovered hidden passages and a secret chapel with surviving medieval frescoes. The Gravenstein's archaeology provides a unique window into medieval military architecture, judicial practices, and daily life in one of Flanders' most powerful cities during its commercial Golden Age. The prehistoric cave art Goyette. The Goyette caves in Belgium's Ardennes region contain some of the most significant Paleolithic art and artifacts in Northern Europe, dating between 40,000 and 10,000 before Christ. Excavations have uncovered hundreds of engraved bones and stones depicting animals like horses, bison, and mammoths, representing some of the earliest examples of figurative art in the region. The most spectacular find was the Lion Man of Goyette, a 35,000-year-old ivory sculpture combining human and feline features that suggests early shamanistic beliefs. The caves have yielded evidence of both Neanderthal and early Homo sapiens occupation, with distinct tool-making traditions visible in different archaeological layers. Archaeologists discovered modified human skulls that may represent ritualistic practices or early trophy-taking. The caves also served as hyena dens during periods between human occupation, preserving extraordinary Ice Age fauna remains, including cave bear skeletons and woolly rhinoceros bones. Recent isotope analysis of animal bones has provided detailed climate data for the last glacial maxima. The Goyette caves are particularly significant for showing the transition from Neanderthal to modern human cultures, with the archaeological record demonstrating both continuity and innovation in tool technologies. The site continues to be excavated, using modern techniques like 3D scanning of art objects and genetic analysis of bone fragments, rewriting our understanding of prehistoric life in Northwest Europe. The Iron Age chieftain's tomb in Eigenbilsen, the Eigenbilsen chieftain's grave, discovered in 2011, represents one of the most significant Iron Age burials found in Belgium, dating to approximately 500 before Christ. This monumental tomb contained the remains of a high-status male buried with a complete two-wheeled chariot, 4 horses, and an array of weapons, including a decorated iron sword and lance. The burial chamber, originally timber-lined, held imported Mediterranean bronze vessels for wine drinking and a gold torque neck ring, indicating elite status. Archaeologists determined the man stood over 6 feet tall and showed signs of healed battle wounds. The grave's construction involved considerable labor. A 4-meter-deep pit was dug, and the chariot carefully dismantled for burial. Soil analysis revealed traces of a massive funerary feast with remains of dozens of sacrificed animals. What makes this discovery particularly important is its clear connection to similar elite burials in the Rhineland and France, proving the integration of Belgian tribes into wider Celtic cultural networks. The chariot's decorative bronze fittings show artistic influences from both Hallstatt and early Latine styles, marking a transitional period in Celtic art. This single burial has transformed understanding of social hierarchy, trade connections, and funerary practices among the pre-Roman tribes of the Low Countries. The World War I trenches of Flanders fields. Archaeological investigations of the World War I battlefields around Ypres have revealed an incredibly preserved landscape of trenches, tunnels, and conflict debris. Excavations at sites Paschendaele and Hill 60 have uncovered intact sections of opposing British and German trench systems with their wooden revetments, duckboards, and corrugated iron shelters. Particularly poignant finds include personal items like soldiers' toothbrushes, letters home, and makeshift religious shrines. Forensic archaeology has identified numerous remains of fallen soldiers, with DNA analysis helping to identify previously unknown casualties. The discovery of untouched underground bunkers has provided new understanding of mining warfare, including unexploded munitions and counter-tunnel systems. Battlefield archaeology techniques have mapped the evolution of trench designs from 1914 to 1918 Anno Domini, showing technological adaptations to new weapons like gas and tanks. The clay soil of Flanders has preserved organic materials rarely found elsewhere, including leather boots, fabric uniforms, and wooden grave markers. Recent LiDAR surveys have revealed previously unknown features across the entire battlefield. Landscape. These archaeological investigations complement historical records by providing physical evidence of the war's brutal conditions while helping to locate and honor missing soldiers over a century after the conflict. The Merovingian treasure of Tunoi, the 1653 discovery of King Childeric I's tomb beneath Tunoi Cathedral, remains one of Europe's most significant Merovingian archaeological finds. This 5th century Anno Domini burial contained over 300 artifacts that revolutionized understanding of early Frankish rulership. The grave goods included a gold-hilted sword with Cloyson garnets, a gold bulla necklace, and 300 golden bees, possibly cloak ornaments, that later inspired Napoleon's imperial symbol. Most remarkably, Childeric's signet ring bore his portrait and Latin inscription, Childerici Regis, demonstrating how Germanic rulers adopted Roman symbols of authority. The tomb's location within the former Roman city walls showed continuity of urban power centers. Modern analysis of surviving artifacts, most were stolen in 1831, reveals sophisticated goldsmithing techniques combining late Roman and Germanic traditions. Recent excavations near the original site uncovered additional elite burials, suggesting a royal necropolis. The treasure's inventory, recorded before its theft, describes Byzantine-style jewelry and ceremonial weapons that illustrate the Franks' far-reaching connections. This discovery remains crucial for understanding the transition from Roman Gaul to Frankish rule, particularly how Childeric's son Clovis would later unite Francia. The few surviving artifacts are displayed at the Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris, while replicas can be seen at Tournai's Museum of Archaeology. The medieval plague pit of Brussels, the 1995 discovery of a mass grave containing 316 skeletons during Brussels metro construction, provided unprecedented insight into the Black Death's impact. Located near the medieval hospital of St. John, this orderly burial dates to 1348 to 1349 Anno Domini, when historical records indicate plague killed 30% of Brussels' population. Unlike chaotic plague depictions, the careful arrangement in rows suggests organized civic response during catastrophe. Forensic analysis revealed victims of all ages, with many showing pre-existing malnutrition and healed injuries. DNA studies confirmed Yersinia pestis presence, while isotope analysis indicated some were recent migrants from rural areas. Personal artifacts included a gold wedding ring still on a finger, pilgrim badges from Santiago de Compostela, and a surgeon's kit with cautery tools. The pit's location outside city walls follows contemporary public health practices. Soil analysis revealed layers of quicklime used for disinfection. This archaeological time capsule has helped track plague strain evolution and understand medieval epidemic responses. Notably, the absence of valuable items suggests either respectful burial or that survivors respected the dead's possessions, challenging assumptions about societal collapse during pandemics. The Paleolithic Lion Man of Goyette. The Goyette Caves Lion Man figurine, carved from mammoth ivory around 35,000 before Christ, represents one of humanity's earliest examples of therianthrope art, discovered in 1999, alongside engraved bones and stone tools. This 15 centimeters tall sculpture combines a human posture with a lion's head, possibly representing shamanic transformation. Microscopic analysis reveals the artist used stone burins to create precise details like the mane striations and facial contours. The caves show alternating occupation by Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens with distinct tool technologies in different layers. Other significant finds include modified human skulls that may represent ritual practices and the oldest known bone flute in Europe. The Lion Man's discovery challenged assumptions about Paleolithic symbolic thought, proving complex spiritual concepts existed earlier than believed. Ongoing excavations continue uncovering new artifacts that illuminate cultural dynamics between Neanderthals and modern humans. The cave stratigraphy preserves a continuous record of climate change impacts on human occupation during the last glacial maxima. This masterpiece is now displayed at the Royal Belgian Institute of Natural Sciences, protected in a climate-controlled case. The Templar Commandery of Villers-le-Temple Aerial Archaeology in 2005 revealed the outline of a 12th century Anodomini Templar commandery near Braves, one of Belgium's best-preserved medieval monastic military complexes. Excavations uncovered a circular church modeled on Jerusalem's Holy Sepulchre, dormitories with individual cells, and fortified walls enclosing 3 hectares. Archaeologists found Templar artifacts, including sword fragments with Jerusalem crosses, lead seals for document authentication, and a rare copper alloy reliquary shaped like the dome of the rock. Financial records scratched on wax tablets detail the commandery's management of 1,200 acres of farmland. The site's sudden abandonment after the 1312 Anno Domini papal suppression of the Templars preserved a moment frozen in time. Unfinished chapel repairs, cooking pots still in the refectory, and hastily buried valuables. Recent pigment analysis revealed the church's original red and white frescoes depicting Crusader motifs. This discovery has provided new evidence about daily life in Templar houses and their economic role in medieval Brabant. The commanderies. Innovative water management system, including filtration basins and underground channels, demonstrates advanced medieval engineering. The Neolithic Brussels Stonehenge, the 2018 discovery of a 5,000-year-old ceremonial enclosure near Brussels Airport, has been dubbed Belgium's Stonehenge. This late Neolithic monument consists of 3 concentric ditches, 200 meters in diameter, with solar alignments to solstice sunrises. Unlike British henges, this structure used wooden posts rather than stones, with 200 post holes discovered forming precise sight lines. Archaeologists found ritual deposits of cattle bones, flint axes, and pottery in the ditches. Particularly significant was the discovery of a processional avenue aligned with the winter solstice sunrise. The complex's construction required moving 10,000 cubic meters of earth using antler picks and bone shovels. This discovery has forced re-evaluation of prehistoric cultural connections between Britain and the continent, showing shared cosmological knowledge existed across Neolithic Europe. The site's museum features interactive displays explaining how the monument functioned as both calendar and ceremonial space. Ongoing research is analyzing pollen samples to reconstruct the surrounding ritual landscape. The Waterloo Battlefield time capsule, systematic archaeological surveys since 2015, have transformed understanding of the 1815 Anno Domini Waterloo Battlefield. Metal detecting surveys mapped troop positions through concentrated musket ball distributions, revealing previously unknown skirmish lines. Excavations of mass graves showed soldiers' injuries, match historical accounts of close-quarter cavalry combat, numerous sword wounds to heads and shoulders. Personal items like Scottish regiment buttons and French Imperial Eagle belt buckles have helped identify unit deployments. The discovery of a buried French artillery caisson with intact ammunition demonstrated how supply failures contributed to Napoleon's defeat. Forensic analysis of bones revealed many soldiers were veterans with healed wounds from previous campaigns. Most remarkably, the excavation of Wellington's sunken road position uncovered hundreds of discarded weapons and equipment, abandoned during the French cavalry charges. These finds have allowed historians to reconstruct the battle's final hours with unprecedented accuracy. The battlefield's new visitor center incorporates these archaeological discoveries into immersive 3D displays showing the combat from multiple perspectives. The Burgundian Duke's Lost Palace in Bruges. Ongoing excavations since 2002 have uncovered remnants of the 15th century Anno Domini Prinsenhof Palace, residence of the Dukes of Burgundy during Belgium's Golden Age. Archaeologists found luxury items including stained glass with Philip the Good's emblem, Italian Carrara marble floor tiles, and gold embroidery threads from ceremonial robes. The discovery of an intact wine cellar with barrels still containing residues has provided new information about medieval viticulture and trade. The palace's advanced engineering included glazed tile heating ducts and a sophisticated drainage system with lead pipes. Particularly significant was finding fragments of a shattered altarpiece by Jan van Eyck, deliberately destroyed during the 1566 Anno Domini iconoclasm. The excavations have revealed how the palace complex evolved from a defensive castle to a Renaissance-style court, reflecting the Burgundian duke's growing power. Recent discoveries include a hidden garden with exotic plant remains and a tennis court mentioned in historical accounts. These finds illuminate the lavish court life that made Burgundian Bruges a cultural rival to Renaissance Florence. The prehistoric salt miners of Hala, the Hala salt springs, exploited continuously from 3000 before Christ to the Roman period, represent one of Europe's oldest industrial landscapes. Excavations since the 1980s have uncovered wooden retaining structures, evaporation pans, and thousands of briquettage, salt-making pottery fragments. Neolithic miners dug 10-meter-deep pits to access brine, with preserved wooden ladders and leather buckets showing their techniques. The site contains votive offerings including bronze figurines thrown into the springs, suggesting ritual significance. Archaeologists have identified distinct production zones for different stages of salt processing. The industrial scale is staggering. Estimates suggest annual production of 20 tons of salt by the Bronze Age. This discovery explains the region's wealth and trade connections, as salt was essential for food preservation. The site's museum features reconstructed evaporation huts and interactive displays explaining the salt trade's role in prehistoric economies. Ongoing experiments using replica equipment have demonstrated the sophisticated chemistry ancient workers employed to purify the brine. The Gallo-Roman temple complex of Tunoi. Excavations between 1995 to 2005 at Tongiran uncovered one of the most complete Gallo-Roman religious complexes in northern Europe, dating from the 1st to 4th centuries, Anno Domini. The site features a rare combination of classical Roman temple architecture with native Celtic cult practices. The main temple followed Roman design with a podium and columns. While surrounding the structure, archaeologists discovered over 200 ritual pits containing animal bones, broken pottery, and votive offerings. Most striking was the finding of a Mithraeum underground temple to Mithras, adjacent to a Celtic healing shrine dedicated to local deities. The temple's wealth is evidenced by discoveries of gold votive plaques, imported marble statues from Italy, and bronze cult objects, including a complete lichus, priest's staff. Excavations revealed 3 distinct construction phases, showing the site's evolution from a simple wooden shrine to a monumental stone complex. The discovery of thousands of coins in the temple foundations suggests ritual deposits during construction. Particularly significant was uncovering the remains of ritual feasts with evidence of mass animal sacrifice. Analysis of bones showed systematic slaughter of cattle, sheep, and pigs for religious ceremonies. This site has transformed understanding of religious syncretism in Roman provinces, demonstrating how native beliefs persisted alongside imperial cults. The temple's final destruction layer contains evidence of deliberate Christian iconoclasm. In the late 4th century Anno Domini, including smashed statues and defaced altars. The medieval hospital of Sint-Jan's Hospital in Bruges. Archaeological investigations at Bruges' 12th century Anno Domini Sint-Jan's Hospital have revealed Europe's most complete medieval medical complex. Excavations uncovered specialized wards, separating patients by illness, herb gardens for medicinal plants, and a complete apothecary with over 200 ceramic medicine jars. The hospital's surgical kit represents one of the most extensive medieval medical collections found intact, including bone saws, scalpels, cautery irons, and a rare trepanation drill. Account books preserved in the hospital archives list purchases of opium for pain relief and exotic spices like pepper for medicinal use. The discovery of parasite eggs in latrine sediments provides direct evidence of diseases treated, including dysentery and intestinal worms. Analysis of skeletal remains showed the hospital treated traumatic injuries from accidents and violence, with many bones showing signs of skilled surgical intervention. The complex's innovative water system included filtered rainwater collection and heated pipes for washing, demonstrating early understanding of hygiene. Particularly significant was finding the hospital's original 13th century Anno Domini regulations carved on stone tablets, detailing patient care standards. This site offers unparalleled insights into medieval healthcare, showing how monastic medicine blended classical knowledge with folk remedies. The hospital museum displays perfectly preserved medical instruments alongside digital reconstructions of treatment procedures. The Spanish fortress of Antwerp Citadel, excavations since 2010 at the 16th century Anno Domini Spanish Citadel in Antwerp have revealed one of Europe's best-preserved Renaissance military complexes. Built in 1567 Anno Domini by the Duke of Alba, the fortress represents a transitional design between medieval castles and modern bastion forts. Archaeologists have uncovered complete sections of the original angled bastions with gun emplacements for 200 cannons. The soldiers' barracks yielded personal items, including gambling dice, playing cards, and Spanish coins minted in the Americas. A particularly poignant discovery was a mass grave containing 80 skeletons of Spanish troops killed during the 1576 Anno Domini Spanish Fury mutiny, their bones showing evidence of brutal close-quarter combat. The fortress's innovative defensive features included a double moat system and underground countermine tunnels. Excavations revealed the 1585 Anno Domini siege works of Alexander Farnese, including his approach trenches and artillery positions. The discovery of a complete armorer's workshop with tools for maintaining firearms provides new insights into Renaissance weapons technology. This site has dramatically enhanced understanding of the Dutch Revolt and the military revolution that transformed European warfare. The Citadel's preserved structures now form part of an open-air museum with augmented reality displays reconstructing siege scenarios. The Mesolithic camp of Rewrote, a 1990s excavation of this 8,000 before Christ seasonal camp in East Flanders, has provided unprecedented insights into post-Ice Age hunter-gatherer life. The waterlogged conditions preserved organic materials, rarely found at Mesolithic sites, including fragments of a dugout canoe and fish traps made of woven willow. Archaeologists uncovered clear patterns of post holes, indicating dome-shaped shelters covered with animal hides. The tool assemblage includes distinctive microlith flint blades used in composite weapons, as well as bone harpoons and antler fishing. Spears. Analysis of food remains revealed a diet rich in aurochs, wild boar, pike, and waterfowl, with plant remains showing seasonal nut and berry collection. The discovery of a dog burial with a decorated collar suggests early domestication. Particularly significant was finding a ritual deposit of red deer antlers arranged in a starburst pattern, possibly representing shamanic practices. Pollen analysis shows the camp was located at the edge of a receding lake during a period of rapid climate change. This site has become a key reference for understanding how humans adapted to the dramatic environmental shifts at the end of the last ice age. Experimental archaeologists have reconstructed the camp's shelters and tools to better understand Mesolithic technology and subsistence strategies. The Carolingian scriptorium of Lobbes Abbey. Recent excavations at Lobbes Abbey have uncovered the physical remains of a 9th century Anodomini scriptorium that produced some of the Carolingian Renaissance's most magnificent manuscripts. Archaeologists found specialized writing desks with ink stains still visible on the stone floors, along with numerous quills, bronze stelae, and ceramic inkwells containing preserved ink residues. The most extraordinary discovery was a collection of parchment scraps with erased texts, palimpsests, that multispectral imaging has revealed to contain fragments of lost classical works. The finding of a lead stylus with runic inscriptions suggests the presence of Germanic scribes alongside Latin scholars. Analysis of pigments identified rare colors like ultramarine blue from Afghanistan and vermilion from Spain, demonstrating the Abbey's access to long-distance trade networks. The scriptorium's layout shows careful planning for lighting conditions, with desks arranged near windows and special shelves for drying freshly inked pages. This discovery has provided physical evidence for how Carolingian manuscripts were produced, showing the fusion of classical learning and Northern European traditions. The Abbey's museum now displays reconstructed writing implements alongside digital versions of manuscripts traced to this scriptorium. The Napoleonic military camp of Boulogne. Archaeological investigations since 2003 at Napoleon's 1803 to 1805 Anno Domini invasion camp near the Belgian coast have revealed the largest preserved Napoleonic military complex. Covering 30 square kilometers, the excavations have mapped over 2,000 barrack foundations, parade grounds, and even the emperor's personal headquarters tent site. The distribution of coins and uniform buttons shows the multinational composition of the Army of England, with French, Dutch, and German units clearly identifiable. Particularly significant was the discovery of soldiers' personal items, including shaving kits, domino game pieces, and letters home preserved in lead containers. The camp's massive bakery complex could produce 60,000 loaves daily, with ovens and grain storage silos found intact. Excavations of latrine pits have yielded well-preserved food, remains showing the soldiers' diet of salted meat, hardtack, and local vegetables. The discovery of practice landing craft and prefabricated bridge components reveals Napoleon's detailed invasion plans for England. This archaeological time capsule provides unique insights into early 19th century military life on an unprecedented scale. The site's museum features life-sized reconstructions of barracks and interactive displays about the abandoned invasion. The medieval Beginhof of Leuven, archaeological study of Leuven's 13th century Anodomini beguinage has provided remarkable insights into medieval women's religious communities. Excavations uncovered workshops where beguines produced lace and luxury textiles, with finds including bone bobbins, spinning whorls, and thimbles. The discovery of a complete herb garden with medicinal plants correlates with historical accounts of beguines' healthcare role. Analysis of latrine sediments revealed parasite eggs and seeds, showing their vegetarian diet. Particularly significant was finding personal devotional objects, including pilgrim badges from Santiago and miniature prayer books. The beguinage's innovative architecture featured individual houses with shared sanitation systems and communal baking ovens. Excavations revealed the 14th century Anno Domini expansion, when the community grew to over 300 women, with documents showing their economic independence through textile sales. This site provides rare physical evidence about semi-monastic women's lives, challenging traditional narratives about medieval gender roles. The preserved buildings now house a museum with reconstructions of beguines' living and working spaces. The lost Abbey of Stavelot-Malmedy, 7th-18th century A.D., the sprawling ruins of the twin Benedictine abbeys of Stavelot and Malmedy represent one of the most significant ecclesiastical power centers in medieval Europe. Founded in 648 A.D. by Saint Remaclus under the patronage of the Merovingian king Sigebert III, this monastic complex grew to control vast territories across the Ardennes. The extensive 15-hectare site preserves remarkable architectural layers spanning 11 centuries of continuous occupation. The 12th century Romanesque cloister arcades remain remarkably intact, their sandstone columns carved with intricate vegetal motifs and biblical scenes. Adjacent stands the massive foundation of the Abbey Church, at 98 meters long. It was the largest religious building in the region until its destruction. Recent excavations uncovered the Abbey's scriptorium, where archaeologists found fragments of parchment with ink still visible, along with broken styluses and pigment pots containing traces of ultramarine blue and vermilion. The medical quarter yielded a complete medieval pharmacy with hundreds of ceramic albarello jars still containing residues of herbal remedies like digitalis, foxglove for heart conditions, and artemisia for fevers. Most impressive is the Abbey's industrial complex, featuring an advanced hydraulic system that powered both a brewery, where researchers identified yeast strains still used in modern Trappist beers, and an iron forge producing tools and weapons. The on-site museum displays the famous 9th century Evangeliarium of Stavelot, a masterpiece of Carolingian illumination containing the oldest known depiction of the medieval game of chess. The Abbey's decline began during the 16th century religious wars, when it was repeatedly sacked, culminating in its complete destruction by French revolutionary forces in 1794 AD. Today, the atmospheric ruins host a sound and light show that brings to life the Abbey's glory days, when it controlled 84 villages and could raise an army of 600 knights. The Ramong Villa of Echternach, 1st-4th century Anno Domini. The sprawling Roman villa complex at Echternach represents one of the most luxurious rural estates discovered in northern Gaul, offering fascinating insights into the Romanization of Belgium's elite. Excavations have revealed a 150-meter-long residential wing with a central peristyle courtyard surrounded by mosaic-floored reception rooms, featuring intricate geometric patterns and mythological scenes. The villa's sophisticated hypocaust heating system, using ceramic pile stacks to circulate warm air, demonstrates advanced Roman engineering adapted to the cooler northern climate. Archaeologists uncovered a separate bath complex with frigidarium, cold room, tepidarium, warm room, and caldarium, hot room, decorated with frescoes depicting marine life and water deities. The agricultural estate surrounding the villa included a winery with 2 massive lever presses for olive oil and wine production, granaries capable of storing 50 tons of grain, and a pottery workshop producing fine terra sigillata tableware. Most remarkably, the discovery of a private nymphaeum, ornamental fountain house, with its original lead piping and marble veneer, attests to the owner's wealth and cultural aspirations. The villa's destruction in the late 4th century Anno Domini is dramatically preserved in a layer containing hastily buried silver tableware, broken statuary, and the skeleton of a young woman killed by a spear thrust, poignant evidence of the Germanic invasions that ended Roman rule in the region. The site museum displays exquisite finds, including a complete Roman dining set and medical instruments, while experimental archaeology projects have reconstructed the villa's heating system and agricultural operations. The Grand Place, Brussels, 15th-17th century Anno Domini. Brussels Grand Place stands as one of Europe's most magnificent medieval squares, showcasing the city's historical wealth and architectural brilliance through its opulent guildhalls and monumental buildings constructed between the 15th and 17th centuries Anno Domini. This UNESCO World Heritage Site centers around the spectacular Gothic Town Hall with its 96-meter tower and nearly 300 stone statues, while the surrounding guildhalls display extravagant Baroque facades adorned with gold leaf and intricate carvings that were rebuilt after the 1695 French bombardment destroyed much of the original square. Archaeological excavations beneath the cobblestones have revealed the square's evolution from a 12th century marketplace along the Seine River to a powerful commercial hub, uncovering medieval drainage systems, foundations of cloth halls, and evidence of the vibrant trade that made Brussels wealthy. The Grand Place has witnessed pivotal historical events, from the public burning of Protestant reformers in the 16th century to the proclamation of Belgian independence in 1831, while today hosting traditions like the biennial flower carpet display and Christmas markets that continue centuries-old customs. The square's harmonious blend of Gothic and Baroque architecture, combined with its remarkably preserved urban fabric and ongoing role as a center of civic life, makes it an unparalleled example of European medieval and early modern urban design that continues to reveal new historical insights through ongoing research and conservation efforts. The Battlefield of Waterloo, 1815 Anno Domini. The Battlefield of Waterloo, located just south of Brussels, preserves the landscape where Napoleon met his final defeat on June 18, 1815, in a conflict that reshaped European history and politics. This vast archaeological site encompasses key tactical positions, like the fortified farm complexes of Hougoumont and La Haye-Saint, that became crucial strongholds during the battle, along with the famous Lion's Mound monument erected in 1826 that offers panoramic views of the entire battlefield. Recent archaeological surveys using metal detectors and LiDAR technology have precisely mapped the battle's progression by analyzing distributions of musket balls, uniform buttons, and artillery fragments, while excavations of mass graves have revealed the horrific injuries inflicted by 19th century warfare through skeletal remains showing saber cuts, musket wounds, and cannon fire trauma. The discovery of surgical instruments and medical waste at field hospital sites has provided new insights into early military medicine, with forensic analysis of bones helping identify soldiers from different nations and social backgrounds who fought in the battle. Waterloo's unchanged topography allows historians to study how terrain influenced the fighting, while preserved structures like Hougoumant's chapel, with its musket ball-embedded walls, serve as powerful physical reminders of the combat's intensity. The site's newly renovated memorial museum incorporates these archaeological findings with interactive displays that recreate the battle hour by hour, making Waterloo not just a monument to a pivotal historical event, but also an important case study in modern battlefield archaeology techniques that continue to yield new discoveries about this decisive conflict. The Plantin Moretus Museum, Antwerp, 16th-17th century Anno Domini. The Plantin Moretus Museum in Antwerp, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserves the original premises of Europe's most influential Renaissance printing house, offering unparalleled insights into the birth of modern publishing and the spread of knowledge during the 16th and 17th centuries. This perfectly preserved complex includes the family residence, workshops, and printing offices of Christophe Plantin and his successors, featuring the world's oldest surviving printing presses from around 1600, complete sets of original typefaces in Greek, Hebrew, and Latin, and an extensive archive of business records that document the early modern book trade. The museum's collection of 30,000 printing plates and 600 manuscripts reveals how this printing house produced works ranging from humanist texts and scientific treatises to Catholic liturgical books during the Counter-Reformation. While the family's art collection, including portraits by Rubens, reflects Antwerp's golden age as a cultural capital. As the only surviving Renaissance printing house with its original equipment and archives intact, the Plantin Moretus Museum provides a unique window into the technological and intellectual revolution sparked by movable type printing that transformed European society. The Belfry of Bruges, 13th-15th century Anno Domini. The Belfry of Bruges, soaring 83 meters above the historic market square, marked, is not only the city's most iconic landmark, but also one of the finest surviving examples of medieval civic architecture in Europe. Constructed in 3 distinct phases between 1240 and 1482 Anno Domini, this magnificent tower originally served as the treasury and archive for the city's precious charters, the watchtower for fire and enemy approach, and the symbolic heart of Bruges' hard-won municipal freedoms. The belfry's robust square lower section, built from sandstone in the 13th century, showcases the transition from Romanesque to early Gothic styles, while the elegant octagonal upper levels added in the 15th century demonstrate the refined Brabantine Gothic aesthetic that made Bruges famous. Visitors who brave the 366 narrow, winding stone steps are rewarded with breathtaking panoramic views of Bruges' perfectly preserved medieval roofscape and the surrounding Flemish countryside, the same vista that watchmen scanned for approaching armies or fires centuries ago. The tower's crown jewel is its magnificent carillon, consisting of 47 bronze bells weighing over 27 tons collectively, with the oldest dating back to 1680 Anno Domini. The mechanical clock mechanism installed in 1748 remains fully operational, its ingenious design representing a major advancement in public timekeeping technology. Recent restoration works 2018-2021 revealed previously unknown construction techniques, including medieval iron reinforcement systems and evidence of the original 13th century wooden spire that burned down in 1493. Archaeological excavations at the tower's base uncovered foundations of the medieval cloth halls that once stood adjacent, where Bruges' wealthy textile merchants conducted business in the 14th century. The belfry's interior preserves fascinating historical artifacts, including the old city treasury vault, the mechanism for the tower's chiming drums, and the Liberty Room where Bruges' civic privileges were once safeguarded. What makes the Belfry of Bruges truly exceptional is its uninterrupted 800-year history as a functioning civic monument. It continues to chime the hours as it did in medieval times and remains the symbolic center of city life. The tower has survived numerous threats, including the French Revolution's iconoclasm and World War II bombing raids, standing as a resilient testament to Bruges' enduring civic pride. As part of the UNESCO-listed belfries of Belgium and France, It represents the architectural and political importance of these urban towers that proclaim the wealth and independence of medieval cities. Modern visitors can still experience the tower much as medieval citizens did, hearing the same carillon melodies that once regulated the workday, seeing the original 13th century stonework, and climbing the same worn staircases trod by generations of watchmen, carillonneurs, and civic officials. The Belfry of Bruges offers one of Europe's most authentic and immersive medieval experiences, connecting us directly to the daily rhythms and civic spirit of a thriving late medieval commercial capital.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.